Mega Man Mastermix issue number 4. This is from Udon Comics. This is actually a pretty old comic. Well, old by like reviewing standards, I guess. Usually I try to like review some of the newer stuff that comes out. This actually came out in April of this year. Um, and I've already reviewed, I believe, the first three. But the series has been really good. I don't know what happened to it though. I don't know if this is the final issue. There's nothing at the end that explains if this is the final issue. And like I said, this came out in April, and there's been no word about number 5. I mean, it is a quarterly series, but even though it's a quarterly, there should have been at least an issue 5 out by now. So I don't know what's going on. This is basically pretty much like a manga in the sense that it's read from right to left. In fact, I mean, this is pretty much a manga that was, I guess, packaged as a comic in the West. I mean, it's by Hitoshi Ariga. I don't know how to say that, but I mean, it's made in Japan. It has the manga artwork. It is read like a manga. The only thing is that it's colored, which mangas usually aren't, and it's, I mean, packaged as a comic. But I'm really enjoying this. So this issue basically takes off where issue number 3 ended up with. This is Asteroid Blues Part 2. So in Asteroid Blues Part 1, basically Dr. Light and Dr. Wily were teaming together in space to work on this robot so that they can collect these crystals that will basically they basically power like machines and electronics for almost like a lifetime. Like they basically won't need like fuel and stuff like that because the crystals will power it for almost ever. And this kind of just takes off where it turns out, of course, Dr. Wily betrayed the group, and he put in a like a virus of some kind inside the giant robots, which is called Gamma, and he's now trying to basically take the crystals for himself so that he can power up an army of robots and take over the world and basically strand Dr. Light in space. So I've said this every time when I've reviewed the series, but the artwork is freaking fantastic. Like, I love it. Let me see if I can get you guys a really good page. Like that. Look at that. That's freaking awesome. I love this. The coloring is really good too. I love the artwork in this. So the asteroid story is actually pretty decent. Weird that they broke it off between 2 different issues, because usually, at least with the previous 3 issues, they're pretty much self-contained. And to be honest, the stories for like at least the first 2 for sure are kind of redundant in the sense that it's basically the same story where Dr. Light creates like 10 robots, and then Mega Man has to defeat them one by one, collecting their powers so he can use them to defeat the next robot. Basically, it's like the plot of the Mega Man original games. And then the second issue was pretty much Dr. Wily creates another set of robots, and Mega Man has to do the exact same thing over again. I was kind of, why I enjoyed the series, I was just kind of like, oh man, you're just basically recycling the same plot over and over and over again. So this was like a nice, interesting change where, hey, we're in space now. We're not doing the whole Mega Man taking out Wily's new creations in a sense. I mean, he is taking out this new giant robot, but it's basically Mega Man, David versus Goliath, rather than Mega Man going through the robots one by one. So it's something slightly different. And then there's also a second story in here that's also self-contained. And that one is actually different too. So, I mean, we get Mega Man trying to take out Gamma, and then he's kind of struggling and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, a beam comes out of nowhere and weakens Gamma and its Proto Man. And Mega Man is able to basically use the damage that Proto Man create to his advantage. And I like this scene right here. This looks pretty cool. Nice splash page. So he destroys the creature, and then they go back to Earth. And that's pretty much the end of Asteroid Blues. So I'm gonna skip a bunch of pages. So for the next story, it's called Metal Hearts. We have basically Mega Man, Rock, Roll, Dr. Wily, not Dr. Wily, Dr. Light, going to this meeting, basically. Meanwhile, Dr. Wily is in this robot junkyard where he finds one robot that still has like a functioning AI, and then he takes it back home into his laboratory where he can like create this giant yellow monster that basically goes on a rampage. So this story is almost kind of like Frankenstein in a sense. Basically, Dr. Wily creates a robot, he brings it to life, but he's not able to control it, and then the robot goes on a rampage, and we basically have this cool moment where Dr. Wily and his robots decide to team up with Mega Man and Mega Man's group, so that they can take down this giant robot. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I don't know, I'm one of those people that I always kind of like that trope. I always liked when you have villains, like arch enemies, forced to team up together to fight like a greater cause. There's just something about that trope that's always just kind of done something for me. Like I've always kind of just liked that. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's just because you see these characters like fighting each other all the time, and it's just like, what if they had to team up? So I thought that was a pretty interesting thing here. I thought this was kind of weird. So this yellow creature is a robot, yet it's able to kind of come in liquid form. I don't know how Wily was able to do that. But yeah, I mean, this is a robot, but it's also like a liquidy character. It's supposed to be like the T-1000 from Terminator. But we kind of, I don't know if I want to spoil this. I mean, it has been almost a year since this came out. So if you haven't read it by then, well, no. Just in case there's anyone watching this that hasn't read this, I'm not going to spoil it. But let's just say that there's a reason that this thing is causing trouble. There's a reason it's kind of going on a warpath. And it's kind of has like a bittersweet ending. And I'm not going to reveal what it is. But yeah, that's Mega Man Mastermix number 4. I know I kind of just glossed over this, but I don't want to spoil too much of this, even though, again, this came out in April. So if you haven't read it by then, don't get angry if there's anything that's spoiled for you. But I like the series. The series is really good. It's $7.99, so it's on the high price in terms of comics, but it's 80 pages. And I believe the first issue was like 79. It's just, so yeah, basically you're getting 79 to 80 pages. And it's, when it says pages, I mean it's full pages. There's no ads in here whatsoever. Literally, I mean, the very first page that you turn is the is page 1, and then yeah, I can't show you the other page because it will be a spoiler. I guess I can just show this. I have to do it sideways though, so that you guys don't actually see the ending. But yeah, it's basically just that whole like manga warning that you always see, where it's like, hey, you're reading this the wrong way. But in between that is basically just 80 full colored pages with no ads, nothing to interrupt your story, which I really like. I wish more comics would do that. Everything that I've read from Udon so far, I've pretty much enjoyed. Like, I've read all the Mega Man Mastermix. I've read some of the Street Fighters. I've read the Dark Stalkers. They've all been really good. I haven't really been disappointed with them so far. But yeah, that's Mega Man Mastermix number 4. Highly recommend it. Beautiful artwork. Like I can't get enough of this artwork. Like it fits Mega Man perfectly, and like the coloring in this is just so like look at that. Like the coloring is just so freaking good. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. I'm gonna end it with this one. This is a pretty cool shot. So yeah, huge thumbs up from me. If anyone has any information on this series, please let me know what's going on with issue number 5. I haven't been to the comic book store in like 2 weeks. I was actually gonna go yesterday, but the battery on my car died, and I didn't feel like spending hours charging it up just so I can go to the comic book store. It's a good thing I work from home. Let's just say that. So I'll probably go to the comic book store. You know what? I might just wait. I might just wait till next Wednesday. That way I can just grab everything at once. So, where was I going with this? So yeah, I haven't been able to go to the comic book store. So I've been reading this, but when I have been going to the comic book store, I've been asking about issue number 5 pretty much. Not every week, but pretty much like every couple of weeks, like every 3 weeks, I've been asking like, hey, like any news on Mega Man Mastermix number 5, and whenever they like put it into the computer, nothing ever pops up. So I have no idea if there is a 5, if this is the end. If this is the end, there's no indication that it's the end. But there's no indication that there's a number 5 either. So I'm kind of just at a loss about what's going on with this. But I mean, if there's a number 5, I'm definitely picking it up because the series has been really good so far. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. Have you guys been reading this? If so, do you guys enjoy it? Have you guys read anything else from Udon Comics? I know Udon is basically like a subsidy of Capcom. They basically do nothing but Capcom comics, like, you know, comics based off Capcom franchises. Which, if that's, they really need to do a Dino Crisis. I want to see Dino Crisis in comic book form. I want to see Dino Crisis in anything. I freaking love Dino Crisis. As much of a Resident Evil fan as I am, and I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, Dino Crisis is always going to be my thing. I freaking love the original Dino Crisis. I might piss off some people when I say this, but I thought that the second one was kind of crap. Like, I don't like the direction it went. Like, it went from a survival horror to like an action arcade shooter. And then the less said about Dino Crisis 3, the better. But yeah, tell me what you guys think of this. Anyone been reading this? Anyone been reading Udon Comics? Anything you guys recommend? And then, of course, if you guys have any comics that you recommend, let me know. If you have any mangas that you recommend, let me know. Pretty much, I've been checking out like everything that you guys have recommended so far. Like, someone recommended Irma, and I binge read everything in like a day. There was what was the other recommendations? Oh, I have them all like down. So if you guys recommend anything, let me know. If you guys want to see me review something that you recommend, obviously I'll get to the Spy Family. Spy Family was a recommendation also. If you guys want to see me review something that you recommend, obviously the less chapters it has, the more likely I am to review it sooner. If you give me something that has like 80 chapters in, obviously I'll read it when I have the chance. I'll read the first few chapters, and if I like it, I'll continue reading. And then I'll, maybe when I finish or I'm all caught up, then I'll do a review. But yeah, so if you guys give me something that's like 100-something pages, 100-something chapters or more, it's going to be a while. But if you guys give me something that only has like 10 chapters or less, you're more likely to see me do a review or spotlight of that sooner, just to keep in mind. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell for notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down below. I also have a BitChute. Please subscribe to that. Like if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment on the BitChute. I also have a Twitch if you guys are interested in watching me play video games. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.